Alright, good morning guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm coming to you with a collection of some protein snacks. Now I noticed that No Cow bars made by D's Naturals came out with these No Cow cookies, so I wanted to give them a shot. And while I was looking around, I also noticed that a couple of different brands had some high protein snacks that I'd never tried before. So I'm also gonna try out these protein sandwich cookies made by Buff Bake, a couple of ThinkThin snacks, and I have never tried this particular flavor of Quest protein bars, so I wanted to give that a shot too and let you guys know what I think. Now first of all, if you guys don't know, one of the only things that I do not consume are artificial sweeteners. So in all of these there's no Ace K, there's no sucralose, none of that stuff. It's generally sweetened with erythritol, monk fruit, stevia extract, those kinds of things. So I'm gonna get started on some of these No Cow protein cookies. Now I really like the No Cow protein bars. They're vegan, they're low carbohydrate. In this case, I'm looking over the ingredients list. It has some soluble corn fibers, some erythritol. The protein blend is brown rice protein and pea protein, which are both really high quality vegan proteins. They're not going to spike your blood sugar like whey protein will, but you'll still get a lot of really good amino acids from those. It looks like these are sweetened with erythritol, which is a sugar alcohol, but unlike maltitol or sorbitol, erythritol doesn't interact with your guts at all. It just goes in your mouth and comes out the other end later. So you're not gonna get any upset stomach or anything like that like you would with some other sugar alcohols, so you don't need to worry about that. And it does use a combination of stevia and monk fruit, so you won't get some of that bitterness that you get with just stevia alone. All right, these came in 3 different flavors that I saw: double chocolate, chocolate chip, and snickerdoodle. Now, I noticed that there was a 4th flavor that's available. I couldn't find it in any of my local shops, so I'm just sticking with these 3 for now. So first up, I'm gonna try the snickerdoodle. Now this is 240 calories for one entire cookie with 12 grams of protein and 16 grams of fat and only 4 grams of effective carbohydrates. So very low carbohydrate, tons of fat, and a good dose of protein, not over the top though. All right, let's try this out, see how it tastes. Kind of reminds me of like a muffin top. Very small cookie though. There's a lot of calories in something this small. So it's not over the top with sweetness. Not a ton of salt in it either. I can tell that this is made with almond flour because it does have a little bit of a starchy flavor to it. Not a ton of flavor in it though. You do get a hint of cinnamon. It tastes very rich, but not super moist. It's a little bit dry in my mouth. I'm gonna give the snickerdoodle cookie 6 out of 10. Pretty tasty, but I think it could have been a little bit better. So next up, the chocolate chip. We'll give these guys a shot. Very similar nutrient profile to the snickerdoodle cookie. Got 12 grams of protein, 240 calories, 16 grams of fat, and it looks like only 3 grams of effective carbohydrate in here. So again, not a super big snack. That's one thing, if you're trying to cut calories, then you might want to pass these things up because they are quite high in calories. Might be good for a ketogenic diet though. So when it comes to chocolate chip cookies, I'm usually looking for kind of like a buttery flavor or that unique flavor that you get from molasses or brown sugar. Not really getting a whole lot of that. It's just kind of an indistinct, starchy kind of feel in my mouth. Again, very rich. I feel like it's a little bit more moist than the snickerdoodle. And it is studded with a lot of chocolate chips. So a pretty decent chocolate flavor in there, just a little bit of bitterness. Yeah, I mean, once again, I'm gonna say maybe a 6 or a 6.5 out of 10. And last up is the double chocolate cookie. And it looks like the nutrition is exactly the same as the chocolate chip cookie. Very little difference between the two. Now usually when you have chocolate inside the mix of whatever you're baking, it's gonna be a little bit more dry. And that's what it feels like. This cookie is a little bit more crumbly than the other two. Again, not super sweet. If you like dark chocolate, you'd probably go for this one. A little bit of bitterness in there that's not super unpleasant. Think of like I said, dark chocolate, maybe an 80% chocolate, or a cup of coffee or something like that. Not sweet at all though. And this, the double chocolate, very dry, very, very dry. I gotta take a drink. I'm gonna give this one a 5 out of 10. But I'm not a big fan of really dark chocolate. I tend to like, you know, milk chocolate and white chocolate even. But if you do like dark chocolate, you'd probably go for this double chocolate. Overall, I think that the no cow bars are actually a little bit superior in flavor. Both in like the intensity of flavor and just how much I flat out enjoy the flavors of the no cow bars. So I'm gonna give the no cow cookies a big pass. I don't think that I'll go out of my way to buy these again. So next up, I wanna try the Quest Nutrition Maple Waffle Flavor Bar. I saw this and I thought it was really interesting. I'd not seen this before. One of these bars is 190 calories with 20 grams of protein. It looks like it has 5 grams of effective carbohydrate with only 6 grams of fat, so a little bit less fat, much more protein. And looking over the nutrition here, we have a milk protein isolate and a whey protein isolate, so it's gonna really hit your blood sugar, get that insulin pumping, which is great post-workout, because that insulin signals that your body needs to shuttle nutrients to your muscles and to your glycogen stores and everything like that. But it doesn't have a ton of sugar, so it's not gonna spike your blood sugar quite as much. Looking over the rest of the ingredients, we have erythritol as a sweetener, stevia, and a little bit of honey. That's interesting. I wonder if I'll be able to taste the honey in that. Now the honey doesn't add a ton of sugar. The entire bar only has 1 gram of sugar. So you don't have to worry about that really spiking your blood sugar. Now interestingly, I know that Quest bars changed their recipe. They used to use isomalto oligosaccharides, or also called IMO syrup, but that can spike your blood sugar. They revamped their bars, and now they use soluble corn fiber, which is what gives these bars a ton of fiber. But unlike IMO syrup, it won't spike your blood sugar, so you don't have to worry about that. All right, so let's give this a shot. Oh my gosh, this is really sticky. Oh man, that wrapper is just sticky and gross and gooey. This is like something that's covered in maple syrup or something. Holy mackerel. Well, you do get a good strong flavor of maple. It's very reminiscent of maple syrup. Now that milk protein, along with that corn fiber, does give you like a good starchy flavor to it. And it is a little bit reminiscent of eating like waffles and syrup, you know, with a tall glass of milk on the side. So that's interesting how they worked that out in this bar. I'm gonna give this like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Very tasty. I like it. If you got a hankering for some waffles and syrup, definitely give this bar a shot. You might be put off by how sticky it is, and definitely be somewhere where you can wash your hands or maybe have a moist wipe or something. because my hands are really sticky after handling this thing. All right, next I want to try these ThinkThin cakes. These are called protein cakes. Yum. Now, I've not been a big fan of ThinkThin products in the past, but the protein cakes is something that I haven't tried, and they've got pretty pictures on the front, so we'll see if that is reflective of a better flavor. So their protein blend, again, is some milk protein, got milk protein isolate and whey protein isolate in there. Reading through the rest of the ingredients, we're using erythritol. We do have oligosaccharide syrup in this, so maybe these guys didn't get the message that IMO syrup is not the best for low carb treats. So when it comes to IMO syrup, you know, your mileage may vary. It affects different people in different ways, so this may or may not spike your blood sugar. Looking at the nutrition, one entire pack is only 170 calories, so not too bad there. 0 dietary fiber, and it looks like 8 grams of effective carbohydrate. It's a little bit higher in the carbohydrate, but you do get 12 grams of protein, and there are 2 cakes in each package, so you can split it up. You don't have to have the entire thing in one sitting. So let's try these out, the red velvet cake. I always thought red velvet was a little bit weird. It's just chocolate that's colored red. And oh my gosh, these things are fugly. They are absolutely ugly. They look like a muffin experiment gone wrong. Let's hope that they taste a little better than they look. So the texture of them is a little bit like a soft caramel. You know, very chewy. It's not bready at all. It doesn't feel very starchy in my mouth, which is kind of a disappointment. Again, it's sweetened with that stevia and monk fruit mixture, so you don't get a lot of that bitterness. There is a hint of what almost tastes like nutmeg in here or something. It's almost like, it tastes almost like a pumpkin spice. I don't see any redness in this at all. It is just dirt brown. I mean, it's like, you know, a soft fudge chocolate or mud, really. So the texture is actually nice and pleasant, but I'm trying to pinpoint what that flavor is, and it's a little bit off-putting. I don't know why they call this red velvet. It's not red, it doesn't taste chocolatey. It's almost like a Thanksgiving treat or a fall treat. You know, it's almost like a pumpkin spice treat, which is kind of weird, but I'm gonna give these guys a 6 out of 10. A little bit weird, but might be worth a shot. They're not too bad. Next up, I'm going to try the birthday cake flavor. Very similar nutrition, 170 calories per package with 12 grams of protein. Now, interestingly, on the ingredients list, they have sprinkles, which are made with gum arabic, spirulina extract, red cabbage extract, turmeric extract, and radish extract. Now, those are all different components that you would use to make different colors without using artificial colors. So the spirulina, obviously for green. Red cabbage, despite it being red, is typically used for like blue or purple colors. Turmeric is bright yellow. That's actually what makes yellow mustard so yellow. And radish extract, I assume that's gonna be like red. So let's try these guys out, see if the flavor is any different. So I think it's cool that they went out of their way to use like natural flavors and natural ingredients. Again, nice little dumpy, ugly little nuggets. And I just noticed that the coating of these uses maltitol, so that's something else to be aware of. I know that maltitol is a sugar alcohol that can cause some upset stomach for some people, so don't eat too many of these at once. I can tell that it does have a little bit of that funky flavor that you get from using sugar alcohols. Definitely got a little hint of that flavor that you associate with birthday cake flavored candies and confections. It is fairly sweet though. I think of everything I've had so far, it might be the sweetest one. In terms of flavor, it's a little bit off-putting. Not the best, but it is sweet. So it might address like that sweet tooth if you like sweet things. I'm gonna give this one a 5 out of 10 personally. I think that they overdid it with the sugar alcohols, and you can really taste that coming through. All right, last up is the chocolate cake. Now I want you to notice that picture on the front. Those things look absolutely beautiful. I mean, they look like something you'd find in an artisan confectionery shop. But when I open these up and compare what I see, actually these guys don't look too bad. They don't look nearly as off-putting as the last two, so maybe I'm wrong. Again, these guys use isomalto-oligosaccharide syrup and that maltitol, a couple of things to watch out for. It might cause some upset stomach, and you might be the kind of person whose blood sugar is going to spike because of that IMO syrup. But we'll give it a shot, see if the flavor's a little bit better. Now it's got a hard chocolate coating and a soft inside. It's just kind of chocolate in chocolate though. It does remind me a little bit of like a Whitman's filled chocolate or something like that. A really strong chocolate flavor, fairly sweet. Not nearly as much bitterness as you often see with low-carb chocolate confections. It does taste a little bit more like milk chocolate to me. So if you really love chocolate, then this might be something to try out for yourself. So I think of the 3 ThinkThin protein cakes, this one is definitely my favorite. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Not too bad. This is one that I might go to again. But of course, with those ingredients, I definitely would not overdo it. So last up, I'm gonna try the Buff Bake. We're gonna start with the chocolate. Now these guys are not super low carbohydrate. They have no sugar alcohols, so you don't have to worry about that at all. It looks like it's sweetened with a combination of sugar and stevia. One of these packages is 1 serving, so 4 cookies per serving. That's 220 calories with 13 grams of fat. It does have 12 grams of sugar, so definitely not as low carb as some of these other ones, with 14 grams of effective carbohydrate and 12 grams of protein. And looking through the ingredients, we have nothing super suspect. Looks like it uses a whey protein, so this is definitely going to be the one that you use right after a workout, not something that you might have when you're just sitting on the couch hanging out, because this stuff is probably going to spike your blood sugar, it's probably going to spike your insulin. So I'm looking forward to this. These are called protein sandwich cookies. I like that they have made without gluten right on the front. So with sandwich cookies, you know, I always think of Oreos, so I wonder if that's what it's gonna be like. Look at that. Has a cute little plastic tray. If these are like Oreos, they're like the ugliest Oreos in the world. Kind of smushed together with some stuff in between. Wow. So those are really like chocolate wafer cookies. If you think of like vanilla wafers, that's actually really pleasant. The cream on the middle is made with peanut butter. So it's got that wonderful combination of peanut butter and chocolate that, you know, everybody always likes. So you got chocolate, you got peanut butter, you got sugar. There's nothing about this that is not tasty. And it's got a really cool, like light, crisp texture to it. Like you might even be able to hear me while I'm chewing it. These are definitely by far the best that I've had so far today. But if you do like cookies, definitely check these guys out. I'm gonna give them an 8 out of 10. Really, really tasty. Very reminiscent of just like a regular old snack cookie. right, next up, I'm gonna try the peanut butter cup flavor. We got white chocolate peanut spread as the first ingredient. That sounds amazing to me. All right, looks like the cookies have like chocolate chips in them with that white chocolate cream in the middle. Let's try it out. It's very sweet, and I can like taste the whey protein in there. So I guess if you like protein shakes with your cookies, this might be the one to go to. So I don't know where they got peanut butter cup. There's not a ton of like milk chocolate in there. A little hint of white chocolate, but honestly, it's sweet and it tastes like whey protein. So I'm gonna give these guys maybe a 5 out of 10, maybe even a 4 out of 10. Definitely not the best. I think the chocolate ones were a little bit better. All right, and last up, Snickerdoodle, made without gluten and non-GMO. So the first ingredient on these is a Snickerdoodle almond spread, which just has natural flavoring in them, and a little bit of cinnamon way down in the ingredients list. So I'll bet that I'll be able to taste some of that spice in there. So these are a little bit darker in color. They definitely have a little bit of a cinnamon smell to them. Let's see how they taste. Now I generally like peanut butter a little bit better, but I think that cinnamon with almond butter is actually a pretty nice combination. This is not quite as sweet as the other two, but it does have a nice subtle flavor to it. It reminds me a little bit of like candied almonds in a, you know, a crispy cracker or a crispy cookie form. Now I do think it's cool how you get 4 cookies in one package. So you know, you can crack it open, have 1 cookie right away. Maybe when we're driving home from the gym, you can snack on the other 3, you know, as you're driving, instead of just eating it all at once. Now, unlike the other ones, I don't have that like raw whey protein flavor in this. It does actually just taste a little bit like a cookie. So I'm gonna give these guys an 8 out of 10 as well. The Buff Baked Snickerdoodle cookies, very, very tasty. So if I total it up, that was 128 grams of protein from protein snacks that I just ate. Probably hovering around the, you know, 2,000 to 2,500 calorie mark. So that was an interesting snack. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you can try some of these products yourself. So until next time, peace out. Take it easy, guys.